I discovered what really went down at my fiancée's bachelorette party. I don't think I can marry her anymore. My fiancée is the love of my life. She's my ideal woman and I wouldn't change a thing about her. But recently I had started feeling insecure about our relationship. I'm not proud to admit it, but I decided to snoop on her phone last night. While looking through her phone I saw a notification go off. A message from her friends about the bachelorette party came in, so I started obsessing over it like a stalker from TV. I stayed up all night checking her computer and Facebook messages, and discovered she had cheated during the party. By cheating, I don't mean getting a strip tease or something, which I would be okay with. I understand it's a bachelorette party, but she actually gave a stripper some slop and ended up going home with another one that night. She has this other guy added on Facebook, but the chat merely consists of a message that says, "Had a good time and it was nice to meet you." The date goes back to the night of the bachelorette party. I have read the messages between her and her friends. They have a small group and I found out what she'd done there. It all seems as if it was a one-time thing that happened, but I am a mess. I haven't slept all night, and she is headed for work in an hour. We were supposed to get married in 3 weeks. We were planning on buying a house together, having kids and growing old. I feel like I want to throw all of that out the window. I am sitting here smelling like liquor, feeling sloshed and depressed. Honestly, I just wanted to stomp her out. I left in the morning to take a smoke. My head was still messed up, but other than this night, nothing I found indicated anything else. I guess she wanted this to be her last night before settling down or something. I honestly don't know and I don't care. When I was outside taking a smoke, about 15 to 20 minutes or something after I left, she had woken up. She noticed the drinks out and asked me what I had been up to. Basically came to give me a kiss and a hug. I followed through with it but honestly felt empty doing it. I didn't want to give her any hints of what I knew. She asked why I had been drinking and why I didn't come to sleep last night. I told her I was just having some nightmares, but everything was fine. I felt detached, like I was watching myself in the third person through a TV or something. She asked me if any stress was related to the marriage and the plans. And I just told her something along the lines of, "I love you. How can you be stressed about the best thing in your life?" She got herself ready and left for work. I basically started packing my most important things. I called and canceled the venue where we were supposed to be having the wedding. Apparently, they took 15% of the money for canceling early because we were having such a big event. I told them it's fine and I really don't care at this point. I also saved screenshots of everything and have taken them with me. Around 1 p.m., I called a taxi and went to stay at a hotel about 60 miles away from my city. I didn't leave any notes or pictures at home, I just left. I just needed the alone time in the hotel to think everything through and process what had happened. At around 3:30 p.m., my phone started getting spammed with calls from my ex-fiancée. I started getting calls and messages from her sister, her friends, her parents, my parents and a few of our mutual friends. The only person I called back was my dad and my mom. I have huge trust in my parents. I basically spilled the beans and told them a nicer story about what happened. I asked my dad not to say anything and also asked my mother not to say anything. I told them it's ended, it's over and that I won't be getting married anymore. I also told them not to tell anyone about what I told them. I didn't tell them exactly what happened, just that I found out she wasn't being loyal to me. I didn't think giving details would help anyway. Around 5 p.m. my dad calls me back and tells me that my ex-fiancée is completely hysterical and is basically broken down. Completely not understanding what is going on. I just told my dad not to intervene and that I need some alone time now. I basically just shut my phone down and I've been staying silent ever since. Her sister knew about what happened at the bachelorette party. And I have the text to prove it. She even laughed about it and told her not to feel guilty because it was a bachelorette party and that women should just go all in on that night. I really feel like Neo in the Matrix dodging bullets in slow motion. However, instead of dodging bullets, I have dodged a floozy wife and unwanted children. With this wife's endless fights and tons of depression, I honestly feel a lot better knowing that my life will get better. Unfortunately, she has broken down and is begging me to take her back. So is her sister and her friends. They also came up with the worst excuse of what actually happened. I had this gut feeling that she was going to come up with an excuse of some sort. I picked up the phone and the first thing I heard was a torn voice. I could hear she had been crying all day and was in a messed up state. She kept begging me to come back, that there was an explanation for everything and that she loved me. She said I had misunderstood the entire situation. I told her to explain it to me right then and there. She said because I only saw a small part of the conversation that it's all been misunderstood, that I should come back home, and that I had made an irrational decision to leave. During the entire conversation, I was just giving really short, empty answers in a cold manner. After she told me it was all a misunderstanding, I told her to call me back in 10 minutes and to check Messenger. After I hung up, I sent her the entire conversation with a ton of screenshots. Not all of them, but most of the important ones. It didn't take 2 minutes for her to call back crying hysterically, saying she was sorry for everything, that she wanted to die rather than lose me. She said she was forced by her friends and her sister to have fun one last time, and that she needed to let all the energy out before stepping into a marriage for life. I stayed silent. The more I didn't talk and just said okay, the more she was crying. She started telling me that I could sleep with other women if I wanted to get back at her or that she would tell everyone about what she did so I could take her back. I told her sleeping with other women was not something I needed because the moment I met her and started loving her, she was the only woman I wanted. I didn't need to meet or sleep with someone to know the best thing in my life was waiting at home. She kept begging and begging, so I just told her if she comes clean to her parents and her family, I would think about it. After that, she started saying something but I just hung up. Suddenly, her father called me up and apologized for everything. He and his wife know what happened now and he was so sorry for all of this. He told me he understood how I felt and that he didn't raise his daughter to do that. His wife basically stole the phone from him and told me that her daughter. I politely told her that I appreciated her opinion and then I said, I have to go, goodbye. My ex-fiancée calls me back and begs me again, saying she told her parents and also sent a text message to our mutual friends about what happened. She kept apologizing on the phone and I didn't say much. After some time, I just told her not to cry, and that she shouldn't be apologizing because single women like herself are allowed to do these things, and I hope she finds Mr. Right. She starts crying even harder. My ex-fiancée is unable to breathe and hands the phone off to her sister. She grabbed the phone and said, we told everyone what happened, are you going to take her back? I only said I would think about it. She then tells me that her sister is turning into a dangerous situation of wanting to unalive herself because of all of this. The only thing I said after she told me that was, it's a good thing you are close to her so you can make sure she doesn't do that to herself. Maybe take her to a doctor or something. After this, I just hung up. My phone has been blowing up with messages from everyone and I don't plan on responding. I honestly feel a lot better right now, like I can move on.